Chaverim v'yedidim, the Simcha Rabbah. We have Rabbi Blumenfeld here. I want to thank Rabbi Portnoy and Rabbi Garfinkel Shlita. I'm always a cholam when this chabura was formed. It was a cholam that'll be a davar shal kayama. Oh, Rabbi Engels here, gesund heit. It was a cholam that'll be a davar shal kayama. To have ideas of starting storim and starting any ideas that a person starts, the idea is one part, but the ones that take it from a cholam, the olam ha'maisa, deserve a tremendous hakaras hatoiv. We have here today, a good friend of Alon is here today. What a simcha to see Reb Alon. Going into a Shabbos Shira, it's brought down the Chiddushei Harim. This Shabbos Shira, he said, "Ma'ashanoigim befi ha'olam lasos Shabbos zeh Yom Tov." It was a minig ha'olam. That's why he's not that he made it up. It was the minig by Yidden. A Shabbos Shira given a Yom Tov. What is miyuchid, the simcha of Shabbos Shira? And miyuchid this week is the Akdama to Chamisha Asa, to Tu B'Shvat. Shimshon Shvul writes an interesting lashon. B'shus Rabbi Birnbaum Shlita. This is Rabbi Birnbaum's slot of Chesed of the week. Shimshon Shvul writes, these are the youngest people in Lakewood, the most vibrant, Simcha de Yidden. So Shimshon Shvul writes in Shulchan Aruch, there's very little mention of Tu B'Shvat. The only mention is that we don't say Tachnan. That's the whole mention. But he says in Yiddishkeit, we're always looking for some significance. What does it mean to me? So even if the Zman, it's only the Magen Avraham that writes, Noigim Ashkenazim, Laharbas, Papyrus, but he writes, Yidden are always looking for something significant, some message from the Zman Abba Aleinu. This week, we get Lenin, it's in the collected writings, it's on page, the collected writings. Dr. Azoy. We gain the chlan in the parsha from Shira, Oz Yoshem Moshe, Zok Rashi, Oz Ola Belibam Loy Meshira. Frekte Shemesh Shmuel a question. Shemesh Shmuel asked the question. Maybe someone could tell me, if I burn down, maybe who else asked this question. I didn't see this question anywhere else. But this is a question. No, Terra sagt mir nicht. Der Banker, aber Akasha will nicht. Sagte Shemesh Shmuel. Frekte Shemesh Shmuel. The klal is that we know that ain't shnei neviim misnavim single nechad. There were no two neviim that had the same nevuah. Frekte Shemesh Shmuel, how was it that in 1 second, ganz klal Yisrael should say the same words, Oz Yoshem Moshe? Azoi frekte Shemesh Shmuel for Akasha. The Shemesh Shmuel says a chiddush, a paldik a chiddush. He has the right to say it. It's Dr. Shemesh Shmuel that at the moment of Oz Yoshem Moshe, the whole of Klal Yisrael came to the level, to the dargast Moshe. Moshe raised Klal Yisrael to his level, and it was all, each one of them was a ged of Pel Davarboy. So that was a different type of nevuah, when the nevuah for Moshe came mizog and the zalba nevuah. So he stated in Shemesh Shmuel. Efshe to say another answer on this child. The Maral in Soif Bera Goyla, Maral says a big yisoid, a Chsidish Yid just walked in, a Varma Chsidish Ger, a Chusa just walked in. Efshe, this is the Makar. This is the Maral, and this might be one of the Yisoidis of where Chassidus came from, is this Maral. Maral goes on a Gemara. The Gemara says, Amaratzim ein echayim. Love Amaratzim are not going to have Tchias HaMesim. So Dr. Maral, the Gemara says, says millions of people are not going to have Tchias HaMesim. Of them, state in Gemara and Ksubis, the Gemara says, Yesh lem refuah mimokam acher. What's the refuah mimokam acher? So the Gemara, al yedei mizmedabek with Talmidei Chachamim, atem adveikim Hashem achem chankel chayesh lo davek b'shchina. Dr. Gemara mizmedabek with Talmidei Chachamim explains the moral. What's the pshat in this? What's the pshat in this Gemara? That be'etzem amaratzim don't have tchias hamesim. Only if they're medabek with Talmidei Chachamim. So Dr. Moral azoi. Dover zeh huska me Chachamim, that the whole of Klal Yisrael is one unit. Klal Yisrael has Einei Ha'eda, Klal Yisrael has Rosh Ha'eda. If this week, Reb Shmuel Kamenetsky, from the Gdoilei Ador, the Gdoilei Talmidei Chachamim, the Gdoilei Rashivas is B'tzar, it's not the Pshat of Shmuel's B'tzar, Klal Yisrael's B'tzar. Because the Einei Ha'eda are B'tzar. Klal Yisrael has the Einei Ha'eda, Klal Yisrael has a Rosh Ha'eda, Klal Yisrael has a Leiv, Melech Liboy Levav Kol Yisrael. Zok the Maral, that the way an Amoritz, in order to have Tchias HaMesim, darf man haben Teure. How could the Amoritz have Torah? Al Yidei is medabak with Talmidei Chachamim. He joins one unit of Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael is one unit. Ikvis of the Mashiach. We know our generation is Ikvis of the Mashiach. What does it mean, Ikvis of the Mashiach? The Ekev means the heel, because Klal Yisrael is one unit. And Al Yidei, a person is medabak with Klal Yisrael. A person is medabak in one unit. Efshek hamazogen b'shas Klal Yisrael said Oz Yosher Moshe. That's the moment of the Leida of Am Yisroel. At that moment, they became one unit. If it's one unit, Kish Echad B'Leiv Echad, they were each Vayichan Yisroel. They were able to say at that moment, Oz Yosher Moshe. Now, what was the feeling of that moment? That moment when a Yid said Oz Yosher Moshe, a Yid felt, I'm part of the Am Yisroel. That's the Bekoyach. It goes together. It goes together. Rav Birnbaum doesn't make mistakes. It goes together. Whatever happened by Kriyas Yamsuf, there was the Bekoyach it all goes together. But at that moment when a Yid said Shira, at that moment a person felt my Shira is important. I'm part of the Am Yisroel. When a person, I once heard from Bill David. He said over a mashal, there was a tremendous conductor of a Shira, a conductor of an orchestra, and they were trying to interview this conductor of the orchestra to explain what does it mean, what's the job of a conductor. And he was sitting there and he was listening in. There was some type of choir going on. He was listening in to, there was like 50, 60 players playing at the same time. And in 1 second he says, I'm listening. He says something's missing, and he explained which part was missing. So they asked him, were you able to hear every single player? He says, when you make an orchestra and you have 50, 60, no matter how many players, every player plays his part. At the moment when Klal Yisrael said, Oz Yosher Moshe, every Yid felt, I have a part. I'm part of the Am Yisroel. In a Shira, if you listen to Amol, this one's banging on his drums. This one's playing this instrument, that instrument. At that moment, it all went together. Reb Shamshul says in Moed Koloshi, he says, Yehi Chavoid Hashem Lo'olam Yismach Hashem B'Masav. The Eibishter made the Welt, this world, as a job to bring out Kvoid Shemayim. Hamabit La'oretz V'Atirot. If the Eibishter would want to bring out Kvoid Shemayim, the Eibishter in 1 day, in 1 minute, in 1 hour, the Eibishter can make. The Eibishter wants, he brings down the Twin Towers, all of a sudden everybody sees the Eibishter fiat the Welt. So the Pasuk, Hamabit La'oretz V'Atirot. Or Shira La'Hashem B'Chayoi. A Yid sings, however small my life is, I'm part of the Shira of Klal Yisrael. When a Yid says Shira this Shabbos, and a Yid thinks to himself, I am part of the Am Yisrael. I have a shlichus. The greatest tzaddikim, Rabbi Isaac Sher was once sitting with a Talmud, and there were a group of Rosh Yeshivas were waiting for him. He told the Talmud, it's a schwer zu hören, aber the Rosh Yeshivas da warten, because I was saved from the war to work with Talmidim. Great tzaddikim realized they had a shlichus. The Eibusha should help each one of us. If a person is makir, when a person sits down on Tu B'Shvat, the Lev Le'eg explains, what's this Tu B'Shvat? Tu B'Shvat's a taich. You see Peiris HaElon, you know what causes the Peiris HaElon? When a Yid makes his bracha. The Eibusha should bench each one of us. Every one of us is part of a Shira. Every one of us has a job. Every one of us, the Eibusha of Shamshalosh writes a guarantee. The Rav should be gesund and stark. The Rav tries to slip in. The Rav should continue in the Avodas HaKodesh. Every Yid, when a Yid sits down on Shabbos Kodesh, Shamshalosh writes, if a Yid could honestly walk into Shul Friday night, and he could say, Rebbeinu Shlita, wherever you sent me this week, my life circumstances is all a job that you gave me. Rebbeinu Shlita, I'm trying to be Makai in my tafkid. I don't get to choose my job, whichever office you send me to, whatever my family life is, whatever my emotional state is. Rebbeinu Shlita, I'm trying to do my job and my shlichus. So Leibishton's help from his Olzoiche sein, when we sing that Shira, to realize each one of us are part of the Shira of the Am Yisroel. Be'ez Hashem B'Korav, we're going to sing to the Eibishter, Oz Yoshem HaMashiach et Kumen K'meiseis Chameres Mitzrayim, Erenu Neflois. We're going to sing to the Eibishter and realize each one of us have a shlichus. So the Eibishter help from his Olzoiche sein. So a Shabbos von Aliyah, a Shabbos von Simcha, a Shabbos von Vernente, to the Eibishter we should be Zoiche to V'tar Libeinu Lov D'Chav Emes.